News from Weld County tonight. The sheriff's office is telling us multiple people have been hurt after a truck hit a school bus carrying 40 people, kids and adults.
So this happened at County Roads 49 and 22. The Greeley-Evans School District confirms it was one of their buses. They have not confirmed if it was their students on board. Now, we sent Air Tracker 7 to the scene. You can see this wide picture giving you an idea of this accident. There is a school bus on its side right in the middle of that picture there, and you can see multiple emergency crews that are out there. Here's the latest information. We know 1 to 2 people were seriously injured. There's a couple of people with minor injuries. Southwest Weld Fire Protection tells us they have their entire crew out there right now. We also have Gary CUTLER with the State Patrol on the phone right now to help give us some more information from the scene. Gary, you hearing us, and what do you know?
Yeah, at this point, as you were saying, from what you can see there, is it always is what looks like a chaotic scene. So it takes a little while for everybody to go ahead and find out who needs help and where they need to be transported. So all these different units right now are headed there. We still have additional units that are en route, and we're going to make sure that everybody is transported to where they need to be. So at some point right now, we already have some of the passengers on the bus are being transported to local hospitals.
So I know there's a lot in these early stages you're not going to know, and that's fine. You can just say you don't know. But do we know who these kids and these adults were? Were these students? Was this a camp? What was this?
We don't know any of that at this point. We just knew approximately how many people were on the bus and that we had a truck versus a bus crash in the area of Weld County there.
And do you know any more about that collision? We do see a couple of trucks around there, but do you know any more about how this accident happened?
Nothing at this point, and we usually don't let anybody know if, just because of a witness or something like that. We like to get in there and get our guys in and make sure that they're looking at the evidence of what happened to make sure we know exactly what's going on before we tell the public.
And Tripper, I don't know where you are in proximity to this. We are looking at a live camera from Air Tracker 7, and when the helicopter zoomed in, we could see what looked like, what appeared to be several of the passengers on the bus being comforted, being treated there at the scene. What do you know about those who are still there and who have now been transported?
Again, not sure exactly who the passengers are or anything like that, but we do have that. We do know that the bus driver is being transported as one of the people that was injured, and then we have probably about another half a dozen of the bus passengers going to the hospital.
And sir, can you give us any information about this area, why the bus would have been in that area? We know it's County Roads 49 and 22, I believe. Is that accurate?
That's the area that it's in, and I don't know what they were doing today or anything like that. In our initial reports, we don't get stuff like that. It's mostly just what kind of equipment and people do we have to get to the area to make sure that everybody's okay.
And this looks like a fairly large response. Do you know how big a response this was and how many different first responders were dispatched to this scene?
I don't know at this point. I do know that county, EMS, fire, and State Patrol are all there. So between those agencies, we have quite a few people that we can bring in to make sure that everybody is taken care of.
And just one last question for you. We were hearing 1 to 2 people seriously injured, a couple of people with minor injuries. Is that what you're hearing as well?
That's what we're getting at this point. It's the initial triage of what everybody's running into to make sure they can find out who has injuries and who doesn't.
Very good. Gary CUTLER with CSP, thank you for your time. We'll check in with you and with the appropriate agencies throughout this evening. But right now, latest, you've heard half a dozen transported, 1 to 2 serious injuries. We appreciate your help, sir.